Hey guys, it's me, NRB12341 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Maketoys, part of the remaster series, MTRM-11 Maketoys Howling Meteor. Now, for the package, we have a nice look of Meteor in his robot and alt mode. On the side, we have a picture of Meteor's leg for some reason. On the other side, we got another picture of Meteor. Product shots. We've got all his alternate faces and head, and I think that is Maketoys Mitron or It's Maketoys' version of Megatron. There, choking Meteor, which we'll get to in a bit. Then we have product shots of both his front of him and the back of him. Down here, we have a nice image of him in his vehicle mode. More poses. We got some null ray struts, as we can see, and that's about it. Also on the top, we have that same image of Meteor. And that's about it for the packaging. So, on to the figure itself. And here we have Meteor. Now, Meteor is, like I've said before, pretty much Maketoys' version of a Masterpiece Starscream, and it's better than the official licensed one. It is much more G1 accurate, cartoon accurate, whatever you want to call it. It's so much better. Now, as you can see, it's in a really bright white, which is very accurate to the cartoon. Not a lot of detail, which is accurate yet again. So he has this, his cockpit is done in this nice gold, which is, again, very accurate, and it's very nice looking. You can open it, but you can't put in the pilot. I know that's a complaint people have been having. But you can at least open it if you want, more for transformation still. Now, there are no jet gimmicks like the nose cone opening or the windbreaker or anything else. It's just a figure, and no, the wheels do not roll. They're all just solid pieces of plastic. Now, he doesn't have the Decepticon logos, which obviously he can't, because Maketoys can't even call him Starscream. They'd be sued for having logos on him or anything. So, I'm going to buy, when I do get the Masterpiece Shockwave, I'm going to put on some of the stickers onto here, on his wings, because otherwise it's not Starscream. So, onto his tail fins, he has these upper ones and these lower ones. The upper ones are done in the nice light blue and red. Not an accurate scheme, but it still is there. Now, people have been complaining that these do get flimsy, and yes, they do, but it's brilliantly done for the transformation. But yes, I know it's hard without locking them into place, but at least they don't sit there on the robot mode. So, onto his back, you can see he's got these his thrusters are done in this nice black. Over to here, on the front side, you can see he has his null rays right here, which we'll get to in a bit, that you can switch these out with something else. Onto the bottom, now this is a complaint people have been having, which is understandable, but at this point you can't really complain anymore. Like, you can't sit it like this. Nobody can make it perfect, but sacrifices need to be made for the robot mode, which is brilliantly done. Now, for some accessories, he comes with these two nipple missiles. To put them on, if you want, you can take this half of the null ray off. Let me see if I can show you here. Just by, you remove one of the null rays. We're just going to do that because it's a lot easier. You take the null ray, and then you pull off this piece, like it just inserts on. You pull it off. And then you insert the little nipple missiles, and then you can have Starscream with little missile pods. I don't personally like that, but hey, your taste. Take that off, put this back on as you put it. Kind of makes the null rays look like they've retracted, but personally, I like that better. It's just more of a dynamic look for Starscream. Now putting him off to the side, bringing in for a comparison is the not aged very well Masterpiece 11 Takara Tommy's Starscream. Now, I did not transform this all correctly. I kind of rushed it as instead of I did with this. So you may notice it's a few mistransformed parts. Now there are things that are better on this that are not as good on this. For example, like the struts on the null rays. But these do have it, they just plug in, which I don't really care about. The cockpit can open up on the MP11 and you have a little pilot seat there. The canopy opens on here, but there is no cockpit seat, so. But it doesn't really matter. There are Decepticon logos right here, and like I said, the jet gimmicks with the windbreaker, and then the radar dish that comes out of the nose cone, but this does get very flimsy. This one doesn't have that, but what it does have is a very smooth looking nose cone. Now it does have the other thrusters that can be revealed, and the posable thrusters, and the stable tail fins, but you know, doesn't really matter. Now what does matter is the rolly gimmick. I wish this thing had that. Unfortunately, Meteor does not have that, and instead this one is. Now the $1 million question is, for your Starscream masterpiece, which one can I recommend you get? This all depends on preference. If you like a jet mode better than a robot mode, honestly, I say they're equal, but a lot of people are saying this one's better. Personally, honestly, if you're looking for a more accurate cartoon look, this is the way to go. Realistic, this is the way to go. Now, there are more problems on Meteor. There are more problems on Starscream than there are on Meteor. And we'll get to that in a bit here when we transform Meteor, obviously. Starscream does come with a coronation set, but he is much more pricey, which is a problem for some people. But honestly, I can't stress enough how much I love this figure. We'll get to how much I like him more in the robot mode, which is his better mode. These things, again, are very flimsy, and they're pretty stable on this, like they don't move at all. But there are a lot of sacrifices on this that were made for jet mode rather than robot mode, which is the reverse here. So it depends. So getting him out of the way, we're not going to compare him to anyone else because I did not feel like transforming any other masterpieces. So we're just going to get down right to transformation. For transformation, what you want to do first is you want to remove the null rays. I'm going to adjust my camera. Remove the null rays and just set those off to the side. Now, right away, next thing you want to do, tuck away the landing gear, which are just right there, and this one just sits down right there. Next thing you want to do, come around to the front side, and you're just going to want to take the wing. I may not be the best at this right now. First you're going to take these fins and fold them in. Do that on this side as well. And then you're going to want to detach this and detach this, which again Meteor did very well because the other one is so difficult to put these things on that it hurts. Then you're going to want to lift these up and set those off to the side. Hold on just a sec, guys. Okay, guys, so I know I said that I was going to transform him, but then I realized that I would fail terribly, and so I just transformed him off camera. Like I usually do, when I get Thundercracker or Skywarp or possibly another Seeker of this mold, I will transform it, and that is a promise. It will eventually come where I show you how to transform him, but Meteor, I could not transform on camera, it was too difficult, so I just did it off camera. And this is the end result. Now this figure is brilliant. This is the best looking Starscream we have ever gotten. I don't care what anyone else says. It is beautiful. This thing was so well designed. Now, zooming in. Nope, not on his chest. Get on that head there. As you can see, it's a very dark looking gray, but that's a key aspect of Starscream. And I don't think it's too dark. It's not like black like the rest of the head, but it definitely, could use a little bit of lightening. It's fine though. I don't care. If it was a little bit lightened, it probably actually wouldn't look that good. Now, you can actually switch out his faces. All you have to do that is remove the head. So you want to take the head here, flip off that face, and yes, it does have the little gimmick thing. We'll take off this, and the faces are very, very, very small. Like, that's how tiny they are. So what you want to do is you can take, he comes with 3 different faces, including the one I just showed you. Here's another one he comes with, which is, hang on, let me see if it'll zoom in for me. Anyway, it's a screaming face, terrifying. To insert that, you turn around the face, and you can see little gaps there, and you can see a peg. So what you want to do is you just slot that on, and Starscream can look like he's terrified, like Megatron's beating him up or something. Or he's about to. Now, the last one, which is the best face in my opinion, take this, and then you take this, and you just attach it on. You can have that scene from the G1 movie, where Starscream is smirking when he throws Megatron out of Astro Train. That is his best face. I think that's awesome that they decided to include that. Even the alternate faces, which was a complaint of the actual Masterpiece one. Now, for other accessories, he does come with the missile things, which I showed you how to put on. Doesn't look that good in robot mode. The last accessory he comes with, which is arguably one of his best, probably some people say it is the best, is this solid little piece you have here, which is a hand wrapped around the throat of Starscream. No, it doesn't have the gimmick or the flip out faces. Now you just take off this head. This is all just his head. And then you take this, and there's a little peg there. You attach it onto the ball joint. And you can have, now this is if you have the Maketoys Megatron, you can have him plug that little slot plug onto the mushroom peg and have Megatron choking Starscream. I don't have that. I have the my friend has the MP36, and no, it doesn't work with any other Megatron, unless there's another one that has a mushroom peg. But anyway, that's it for accessories. Now, for the detail of him, he just looks so well. As you can see, the back of him is yikes. Now for a little thing, the idea for the instructions is you put these flaps on the outside. Another YouTuber showed me this. I actually like to have it on the inside of the leg. It just looks better. So what you want to do, so you take, as you can see, his cockpit is in the nice gold, and it's like an accurate color, and this just looks, the lack of detail makes him look like the cartoon jumped out of the screen. The legs, everything, it just looks so well together. Now, for some comparisons, first we're going to take in his Masterpiece, this is what I mean, I didn't take out the heels, did I? His Masterpiece counterpart. Now, the Masterpiece counterpart required these heels, all of them did, the last 2 Masterpiece Starscreams. Well, this one came with them, and it needs them to stand up. This guy really doesn't, because of his posability. He doesn't have the heels, and he doesn't need them. He has other parts standing him up. Now this just blows this thing out of the water. I mean, this is not aged well at all. Now for kibble, you gotta admit, no. What's going on here is not good. Sure, this doesn't look good, but it looks better than this. Now, turning them around again. Now, this is a huge complaint everyone's been having. For the last so long, the Seekers have all had this huge problem, where the chest doesn't tab in. This one, your problem is fixed. Perfectly fine. And the cockpit, honestly, is not accurate whatsoever, and it doesn't even sit down all the way sometimes. The wings don't tab in, they don't have as much posability as they do here. And, I mean, the face sculpt is okay, I guess, but no. The legs, it's just overall not a good figure anymore. Not as good as it was. So, that's that comparison. We'll get down to articulation after we go through a few more. Here is my most recent masterpiece. Well, actually, most recently reviewed is the Masterpiece Prowl, who, as you can see, is much shorter than Starscream, and that's actually really accurate. For another friend, we have the Masterpiece Ratchet. As you can see, is almost as tall as Starscream, but not quite. We never really saw Ratchet and Starscream together, so we can't judge. And for some other masterpieces who will be reviewed is the Masterpiece Movie Optimus Prime, who is almost 2 heads taller. Take him off to the side. And for one final comparison, which is going to be reviewed right after Meteor, the MP-10B Black Convoy, aka Nemesis Prime. Why did I buy him instead of Optimus? Because I like Nemesis Prime, who, as you can see, is like a head taller than Starscream. Yes, it is accurate. So that was the comparisons. Now down to articulation. His head is on a ball joint, so you can turn up. Can't really look up at all. Can look down. Shoulders move out. This null ray piece can all just detach, which allows it to go a little further out. And you just peg that back on. And then you have upper bicep swivel, a double bend at the elbow, which allows for some good poses, a wrist swivel, and then these are all one piece, which is just one hinge. No thumb articulation, unfortunately, and then you got the individually posed, hard to take out index finger, which has a bend at the knuckle, and then one hinge joint. That's the same on the other side. Then this is where he blows out this guy out of the water again. What do you know? He has a waist swivel! No, does he? Yes, he does. What does this guy have? Nothing. And then when you lift this up, there is a little bit of one. And then down to leg articulation, he has an upper thigh swivel, a bend at the knee. Now, I did not transform those correctly. Bend at the knee, a pivot at the foot, which, again, can allow for some pretty good poses. Now, if you can get him to stand up, sometimes it is a pain. I'll give you that. But MP-11's legs were more difficult than this guy's. Now see, this one did not have a pivot at all, but he had rotation, so what the fuck happened here? No one knows. No one cares. So, here we have MP Meteor. That was our review on him, and honestly, I'm impressed what Maketoys has done with Starscream. They have taken my favorite character, and since he is my favorite character in Transformers, they have made him a beautifully sculpted and painted figure. For die-cast metal, he does have thighs. I'm pretty sure this is. And then he has a bit, I think, under there. But that's for die-cast. But yeah, this is an amazing figure. Now, I used to love this guy when I picked him up, and honestly, I still kind of do. For nostalgia reasons. But he cannot be compared to this guy. He is so cartoon accurate. I really cannot believe what they have done from this to this. And I'm glad I'm not one of those collectors who bought all of the Seekers, because now I have to wait for Skywarp, Thundercracker, possibly the Rainbringers, the Coneheads, to all come out to collect a bunch of them. So they will all be reviewed here, and yeah, goodbye. So he will be, he is an amazing figure. Maketoys has done perfectly with Meteor. So honestly, I cannot stress enough how much you should get him. Now the $1 million question for robot mode is, who? If you have this one, do you need this one? Yes. If you have the money for it. If you don't like this, get this. He's a more than worthy replacement. Doesn't matter if he's not officially branded. This is nothing. No. I'm sorry, but no. If you have no Starscream, yes, you should pick him up. He is the superior one by far. In my opinion, of course. Whatever one you like better. Personally, I like this one a lot better. Just because he looks so much better with his other masterpiece buddies, like Ratchet. Well, I mean, not really buddy, but other masterpieces make him look good. This one was no. So we're going to move him off to the side and bring in, like, that just looks awesome. All of them are so accurate. Now, of course, you can get what you want, but honestly, if you're a Starscream fan, you must get this. You just have to. If you don't have this, you need to buy it right away. If you're as big of a fan as me, definitely buy it. You'll like it so much better than MP11. Now, if you have all the Seekers, you don't need to buy all the Seekers. Just get him, at least. This is, of course, my thoughts, and you can tell me what you think. Honestly, these are just thoughts of mine that I think when I got him, and I was so happy. Just the joy there's so much joy just handling the Transformer. He's such a good figure, and honestly, I can't recommend him enough. So anyway, guys, this has been NRB12341, and I'll catch you next time on my channel. See ya.